The Nürburgring Nordschleife, dubbed the Green Hell by Sir Jackie Stewart, feared by many, conquered by few. Who will be king of the ring today? Welcome to a brand new season of Grand Prix Legends live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Peter Mackay and I am privileged to be joined in the booth by the better half of Double Scotch, Ryan Walker. And behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, using camera angles perfected by Dougie Beer. Now, the Nürburgring is one of, if not the most notorious circuit anywhere in the world. And here is our GSRC track guide to give you the lowdown.
Welcome to the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Most modern high-end series might use the GP circuit nowadays, but it will certainly never hold the respect and awe that the Northern Loop commands. Though it can be and is usually used in conjunction with the Grand Prix circuit for competitions in real life, here on iRacing, drivers can harken back to a time gone by and just run the 13-mile behemoth this place is known for. Nicknamed the Green Hell by three-time F1 world champion Sir Jackie Stewart, it is often regarded as the greatest test of a driver anywhere on the planet. Just looking at the stats will tell you why. More than 150 turns and close to 1,000 feet in elevation will pass you by in a single lap. Simply memorizing the course is half the battle for most drivers, let alone being fast. It goes without saying that this place is dangerous. Many fast corners lack runoff, there's blind apexes everywhere, and in a couple cases, even modern cars will get airborne. The list of famous turns is pretty lengthy, but some of the more notorious are places such as Flugplatz, Miss Hit Miss, Bravery Corner, and of course, the ever-iconic Carousel. It's not just the places where you've got to move the wheel that get attention too. The Dottinger Hoa stretches for more than 1.5 miles in length. While you would think this circuit would mainly be limited to the track days most gearheads flock to for a chance to lap the ring, it still sees quite a bit of wheel-to-wheel combat. The 24 Hours of the Nürburgring, the VLN Series, and the World Touring Car Championship all still take the track to this day. Many race fans consider this the mecca of road racing, and any driver who is able to push the limits here often quickly garners their respect.
So there you go then, a little bit of info about this incredible circuit here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Now, before we go any further, we couldn't unfortunately talk about the Nürburgring this week without talking about Sabine Schmitz, who sadly lost her battle with cancer at the age of 51. Of course, Sabine was known as the Queen of the Nürburgring, and her husband Klaus Abelin, of course, running the Frikadelli racing team, which has had so much success at this circuit. Everyone here at GSRC sends our deepest condolences to Sabine's family and to her husband Klaus. But I'm sure the drivers today here in the Grand Prix Legends will put on a great tribute to her. Ryan, it's great to be back with you once more for another series of Grand Prix Legends. What are the finer details that some of these drivers need to look out for today in round one?
Yeah, this fantastic Nürburgring Nordschleife track. It's a bit of a challenge because there's so many corners that you have to remember, and really you don't get a chance to have a break or kind of like let your mind rest, if you like. It's a great challenge, but also this track is going to require a lot of patience today. And I think with a good turnout of drivers, 47 if I'm correct, it's going to be interesting and a close race. And I think there's going to be some accidents during the race, I think, if people just push too hard. But this track has hosted the VLN, now formerly known as NES or Nürburgring Endurance Series, if you like. It's hosted the World Touring Car Championship and the famous Nürburgring 24, and also, as you say, it was host to Sabine Schmitz in that famous lap around the Nordschleife in a Ford Transit, and I think I'll have to agree with you. Condolences to her family and everyone that knows her.
Indeed, yes. It leaves a very big gap that will never be filled in the motor racing world. We really do send our best wishes. Let's have a look and see how things finished up at the end of last season for the Grand Prix Legends series. And well, it was a vintage season from Mick Claridge, completely undefeated, never been seen before, and even for a man of Mick's lofty standards, it was a first for him too. Rob Olenek was next home in second, followed by Topi Kortenemi, who really came on strong late on in the season. Ovi Trengrade kind of had the opposite fortune, started off strong and dropped off towards the end, and Bill Tyler finishing in 5th spot. How did the F2s finish, Ryan?
So the F2 Championship, it was pretty much a two-horse race between the two German drivers, Andre Schumacher and Chris Hendler, with Andre coming out on top in the last round, with Hendler just missing out on the championship by 16 points. And then rounding out the top three was Michael Cook, with France Emmanuel Pereira in fourth, and fifth going to John Olsen from the United States. And John Olsen, if I believe right, from Mick Claridge, has said that John Olsen's got the required I rating to be in the F1 Championship this season.
I see. Well, we'll see how John gets on in that particular division. Well, finally, we'll look at the Nations Cup and see how they finished there. Indeed, there we go. United Kingdom winning by 56 points from the United States. The Finns in third, followed by Germany and France. So let's see what the details are for today's race here to open the series. First round of 12 for the next 12 weeks. We go racing here on Saturday mornings on GSRC. Here at the Nürburgring, it's a very long lap round, so 6 laps from a standing start. That's a long way on this combined layout. And as always, here in the Grand Prix Legends series, a completely open setup. So the drivers can play around with the car as much as they wish, and these cars, being Grand Prix machines, have a lot of adjustment on them. And of course, Ryan, here at the Nürburgring, that setup has got to be a real compromise, because you have, for example, the Dottinger hole, where you're absolutely topped out in top gear for quite a long time. But if you put the gearing too tall, then you can really compromise the acceleration out a lot of the slower corners. So getting that set up just right is quite a skill here at the Nürburgring.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most drivers, I wouldn't be surprised if they set the gears up now for that back straight after the dot on their hose. So, yeah, look out for plenty of slipstreaming battles there.
Indeed, we will. So, of course, the drivers have done their qualifying lap times, and they do that during the week. So now the drivers just gathering up on the grid, ready for the standing start. So this is how they will start for today. Mick Claridge starts on pole position, a full, goodness, nearly, over 2.5 seconds from Topi Kortenemi. Rob Olenek and Bill Tyler start on row 2, followed by Toga Hesada and Bruce Nelson. Row 4 will be Chris Murakami and Will McDonald, and Laus Olsen and Bill Wright round out the top 10.
Yep, starting in 11th was Chris Hendler, with 12th going to Gary Teal, Dave Cohen in 13th, John Olsen 14th, 15th Rob Plumley, 16th Matthew Maudsley, 17th Yanni Lehman, Peter Wojcicki in 18th, 19th is Andrew Eng, and rounding out the top 20 is Randy Huff.
Running quickly through the next lot, we have Roland Wallbank, Cesar Piccolo, Glenn Becker and Ovi Trengrade rounding out the top 24. The lights are in the air. We are racing for a brand new season here in the Grand Prix Legends Championship. A number of drivers starting from pit lane, but Mick Claridge is off from pole position in the number 1 car, running a slightly stealthy paint scheme here, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks a beauty, and it had a beauty of a start as well as they come round into this little tricky hairpin. Now you can use the camper to get a good exit as well, but at the moment Mick Claridge has got the dream getaway. But Topi Kortenemi in second, as they still keeping him in sight, with Rob Olenek in third, and Bill Tyler having in fourth as well. So yeah, Bill Tyler having a great start, along with Togo Hosada.
Well, of course, last time we came here to the Nürburgring Nordschleife in the Grand Prix Legends series, it was a bit of a Mick Claridge masterclass, where he cleared off early on and really to a dominant victory. Now, will that be the case today? We shall see. This is us now on the full combined layout, so using a little bit of the modern Grand Prix circuit that was built in the early 1980s, and of course the notorious Nordschleife, which is just, you talk about heritage, this circuit has it in spades. So we're riding on board with Topi Kortenemi here, running in second position. You can see Mick Claridge already really pushing hard, and that seems to be where Mick's just got the edge on the competition here, Ryan. He's always so good on cold tyres.
Indeed, and that's the thing. Once he gets in the zone, there's no stopping him. He just like you say, he just starts pulling away and just starts doing his thing. And at the moment, he's coming up to the jump now, and it'll be interesting to see these cars getting airtime.
Well, this is whoa! You do not adjust your sets, folk. This is not classic rallycross on GSRC. This is Grand Prix Legends, and wow. Well, they call it they don't call it the Fluke Platz for nothing, Ryan.
Absolutely not, and yeah, that was good car control from Claridge as well. As the battle for P5's going on at the moment as well, with Hasada and Bruce Nelson, and it looks like Chris Marikami in the mix as well.
Yep, you can see the drivers really pushing there through one of the fastest corners on the circuit. Very fast left-hander, and then you hit the brakes hard, and then into this really cambered right-hander and down the hill. You're just no time for rest here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Apart from at the Dottinger Hole, but then you've got to worry about being drafted by someone behind you. So it is always something to think about here. So the moment already, Mick Claridge pulling out a nearly 2-second advantage, not even halfway through the first lap, but Claridge showing that he means business. And you know, the thing is, Ryan, we spoke to Mick a lot at the end of last season, and we thought maybe he might have a run at the Lotus 79 series, the kind of slicks and wings classic Grand Prix car here on iRacing, but looks like he's gonna be back to defend his title.
Yeah, he was saying after the last season as well, when I was chatting to him, he said he'll probably be back to try and defend his championship. But yeah, if he pops in the booth, I'll probably ask him and see what his plans are for this season. But at the moment, he's doing the job at the moment, pulling out a pretty much a big gap at the moment, and we're only on the halfway round lap one, and leaving the rest of the field a bit in his dust.
Well, normally here in the Grand Prix Legends series, we would be deeply concerned with 47 cars about lap traffic, but here at the Nordschleife, not such a problem, because it's such a long circuit, over 13 miles in length, and it's good to be back. It's good to be back on the engine cover of the Cosworth DFV, the V8 organ that powers this Lotus 49, a 1967 contemporary Grand Prix car, and of course a car which our fellow countryman Jim Clark did rather well with.
Yep, indeed, and you say traffic around the Nordschleife is not really much of an issue, as Claridge just clips the grass as well, but absolutely pushing it at the moment.
He is, opening up to 2.5 seconds. So this is a battle that I'm sure will be a tantalising one indeed. Is Kortenemi and Olenek battling over second place, and it seems very early on, Ryan, that is going to be kind of a battle for the best of the rest, because Claridge is he's just checking out. But now we're coming up to the famous carousel. We mentioned the late great Sabine Schmitz, and of course who could forget her going around here in a transit van around this particular part of the section, the carousel. Probably equally as uncomfortable in a Lotus 49. You can see the suspension working hard, and whoop over the crest, and up we go up the hill and open up the power. But these guys who are running at the front, Ryan, they're so specialised in this car. They understand its every weakness, its every strength, and know how to handle it.
Absolutely. The battle for 11th place at the moment is going on between Chris Hemler and Gary Teal, and it looks like Dave Colin, Snelson, as well, is in this battle. So not just battles up at the front, but battles in the midfield as well, as we ride on board with Snelson. And this is probably one of my favourite sections on the Nordschleife, for this twisty section, because you're not really braking. It's kind of, you just lift off, and then basically you're having to control the car so much.
Indeed, yeah, you've got to be so precise as well, because if you catch one of these curbs the wrong way, it can throw you really off course. And like you said, Ryan, you're carrying so much corner speed through here that if you just catch a curb the wrong way, you can whack, you're straight into the guardrail. Now you'll see the cars here, you can see the nose cone here of the number 9 car of Gary Teal, and you'll see his nose cone is already quite bent up. That's nothing too much to worry about, because the amount of suspension travel these cars have, you can see at this point here, when whoosh down the hill they go, the actual bodywork will get slightly bent out of shape, but nothing too much to worry about. But the cars are pretty second hand after a full race distance here, Ryan.
So yeah, right. Oh, that was a good car. Like I was saying, that was good car control there, and you were talking about the front nose getting some damage as well. It's just the nature of the cars under braking, and just the amount of compression they're having to do, because the cars are going so quick, and all of a sudden they're having to slow down really quickly.
Indeed they are. Yeah. So we're just getting word that Laust Olsen has hit problems. We know Laust is one of our front runners normally, but we're not quite sure what has happened to Laust right now. But we will try and get an update for you. But he's off the scent of the front pack right now. So here we go onto the Dottinger hole, and look at this. Aha! Rob Olenek goes to second position. So drafting past Cortinemi now. Now here's the question, Ryan. Now that Rob Olenek is past Cortinemi, can he push? Can he make up any time to Mick Claridge? The gap's about 4 seconds right now.
I think it's more than possible. I mean, Rob Olenek on his day, he's one of the quickest drivers out there, and he can take the challenge to Mick Claridge. But I think 4 seconds around the Nordschleife is really... It's a tough ask to do around the Nordschleife, but you never know. He could close that gap down.
Okay, so this is a very busy scrap here for 14th position between Maudsley, Hobbs, Olsen and Eng. Not Laust Olsen, that is a Olsen of the John variety here. And it's interesting seeing them there, Ryan, when they come out of the S's and then back on the power. You think, oh, he's going a bit hot in here, and you forget that they're coming onto the Grand Prix section, where I think this is one of the most difficult corners of the whole Nordschleife, the whole complex, because trying to get the car slowed down to almost a stop is trying to pick your braking point so difficult there.
Yeah, indeed, that's the thing as well. It's the Nordschleife as well. It's so difficult to get some of the braking points right in some of the corners, just because it's just the tight nature of the track, and some of the corners they just come at you all of a sudden, like really quickly.
That they do, and it's funny actually when you watch the Lotus 49s, of course, a classic Grand Prix car from well over 50 years ago now, and when you see the car on the Nordschleife, it just looks perfect. It's almost as if it could be in black and white, but when you see a car like this on such a modern circuit, it does look a little strange. But Togo Hosada, wow, Togo Hosada has really got off to a fantastic start here in this brand new series of Grand Prix Legends. Of course, Togo from Japan, running the beautifully simple Honda Japan colours from their Grand Prix effort in the 1960s. And, well, Honda, a firm with an incredible heritage in industry and also in motorsport.
Yeah, and indeed, and they've got a whole range of it. Oh, Rob,
oh no. Oh dear. So Rob Olenek and Topi Cortinemi both off there. So here comes our GSRC replay. Let's try and... Oh my goodness me. Olenek gets a huge wiggle on the jump. Oh. Well, it looked like he didn't really have any control there after hitting and maybe lost his brakes and steering, and Cortinemi really had nowhere to go. And look at that violent off the side of the... Oh dear. Nothing he could do there, really. The car, he was just a passenger, Ryan.
Yeah, he's pretty much just a passenger, and he had no control. And unfortunately, Topi Cortinemi got caught up in that incident. Someone else has had an issue as well. It's just Rob Olenek. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that car is toast. Well, five laps to go, so most of the race to go and McLaren now a 16-second advantage. But Ryan, we have an excellent battle here between Hysada. Now, what a story this would be for Togo Hysada to get an overall podium. Of course, Togo running in the F2 championship. So, wow, really, really impressive. He's the number 10 seed, so that seed is based on the driver's iRating, which they get based on their results. Kind of like a golf handicap, if you like. So Toga, the 10th highest ranked driver, Bill Tyler, the 4th highest ranked driver, and our fittingly, Ryan, although that doesn't mean he's the defending champion, running the number 1 plate. That's nice.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the Nordschleife as well. It's one of those tracks that it always seems to throw up a bit of a shocker, if you like, with some of the regulars having issues, and it's like you see right now, Hysada and Tyler are up there on the podium at the moment, but further back we've got this fantastic battle going on for 6 between the Teal, Trengrade, McDonald and Wright.
It looks like McDonald, if I'm not mistaken, he maybe has, it looks like he's got a Ferrari paint scheme on there. It's certainly the right shade of scarlet red, but I'm not sure if he's got the prancing horse running on the side of that car. Anyway, he is right in the heart of this big battle here, led at the moment by Gary Teal. And Ovi Trengrade in there as well. Now, Ovi's not had, of course, Ovi started from the back because he hadn't set a qualifying time, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he might have just decided not to set a time, or he might have had like an off track. I know if you go off track ever so slightly, you get a 0x for it, I think, or 1x. I can't remember exactly, but it basically invalidates your lap. But it's Trengrade tried to go alongside Teal, but that was close.
Indeed it was, yeah. I think this is Ovi Trengrade. The fact that he's up to 7th position already in a field of over 40 cars shows you just how much pace he's got underneath that car. So we'll keep a close eye on Ovi Trengrade because he is the man on the move. We'll only really get a true impression as, puff of smoke. What's going on here as they come up towards the carousel? Thankfully nothing, just a lock-up it seems. But we'll need to keep a close eye on Ovi Trengrade, Ryan, because you know, he's clearly the guy with quite a bit of pace, but we'll only really get a true impression of his pace once we've seen him set a couple of full laps.
Yeah, I think Ovi's got the pace at the moment, but he's stuck behind Gary Teal, and around this section that we're coming up to now, you can't really make a move. It's basically kind of a one-line section, if you like, so you can't really make a move, otherwise you'll just end up in disaster. I think Trengrade's best chance of getting by Teal is on the header on the exit of the Dottinger Hole, heading onto the back straight.
Yep, I would agree. Yeah, that's certainly a place where he should be able to get Gary Teal with no fuss at all using the draft. There's plenty of time to do it, so he'll have to hold station for now, which will be frustrating for Trengrade, but tell you what, he's got to be happy with this so far, though. Not even at the end of lap 2, and already well up into the top, well inside the top 10 for Ovi Trengrade. But we shouldn't be surprised, though, Ryan, because of course for new viewers to the Grand Prix Legends series, Ovi Trengrade last season was a regular frontrunner, always up there in the podium fight.
He was, and he had bad luck at times as well, what's unfortunately cost him in the championship. Just looking at the cars getting some airtime over that jump is just, and watching these drivers hold it is just absolutely majestic.
It really is, yeah. I think it's hard to describe just how much suspension travel these cars have, and they can really get out of shape. Of course, you've got no traction control, no ABS, nothing like that. You're completely on your own, and these cars are a purebred Grand Prix machine. And you can see here, we've got a great idea on board of Ovi Trengrade's Lotus 49. You see, look at the amount of travel in the suspension there. The wheel bouncing up and down all the time, and the driver's getting bobbed around like a rag doll. Can't imagine it would be a very comfortable ride around the Nürburgring Nordschleife, but no problem from the comfort of your sim at home. So here we go. Let's see if Ovi Trengrade can get a draft from Gary Teal. Gary Teal's got a very good exit onto the Dottinger Hole, but here comes Trengrade. Here we go. He's got a bit of the overspeed now. He's going well over 300 kilometers an hour. He's up to 200 miles per hour on the Dottinger Hole. Look at that. It's Mick Claridge. 7:33 combined lap time. Incredible. Gary Teal tries to recover slightly. McDonald having a look in there as well, but Trengrade is through. Now we should get an impression of just how much pace the Scandinavian ace has.
Yep, as he's starting to pull away now, but the battle back up at the front for second and third place between Togo Asado and Bill Tyler is still going on, and it looks like Tyler's making a move up inside just about. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. They're still side by side. Oh, the lefties are just enough space, but both of them are still side by side as they head up to this mini carousel hairpin, I like to call it.
Yeah, good way to. Whoa, Hasada's off. No. Oh, well held, style. That is, I tell you what, if you're going to make a mistake, that is one way to do it. So we're right on board with Togo Hisada, hard on the brakes, just misses his braking point, slides, rally cross, back going again. Brilliant. That is style points.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he was going into the wall there for a second, but thankfully he managed to keep it out, and Bill Tyler starting to pull away now. Bill Tyler up into second place and having a great run so far.
Now, I know it's a bit of a cliche here, Ryan, for a commentator to say this, but can we call Togo Hisada the samurai of slide now?
Yeah.
Was that just Riichi Kiyanari who's allowed to be called that? Okay, so we look back at Gary Teal in the number 9 car. Another driver sporting a new paint scheme. I'm trying to pick out who that new sponsor is on his car, but we'll try and find out for you folks. But so Gary Teal running up in 7th, and Trengarade, God, look at that. Trengarade absolutely disappeared. As soon as he was clear, he's gone. So at the moment, Trengarade 31 seconds behind the overall leader, Mick Claridge. Last time around, Mick Claridge a 7:33.9. Bill Tyler a 7:43.9. So Trengarade 7:46.4. But I think now that we've got Trengarade in clear air, this is when we might see what Ovi's real pace is.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Ooh.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, holy moly, that was... Yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't be surprised if he catches up to Bruce Nelson in front of him, because just watching his onboard, it looks like he's closing that gap already.
Well, that grabbed my attention, and I actually think, well, he's got a little bit of bodywork damage on the front there, but that's probably just from the rough ride that is the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So Trengarade really pulling strips out of Snelson here, and well, there are a couple of straights coming up, Ryan, so it might be that Trengarade doesn't maybe have to sit behind Snelson here. He might get the opportunity to pull it. Look how much time he pulls on the brakes there. Trengarade is on the move, and it's that sort of Snelson gives him the room, lets him go, just says, after you are flying, sir. And that is very good manners indeed. But I tell you what, it's one of these circuits, Ryan, when you're in the zone, it sounds cliched, but when you get in the zone here, there is nothing quite like it on any other circuit in the world.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, and I've done some races in the Skip Barber car around here in the past, and once you're in the zone around this track, it's just so much fun to lap around, and it's one of those tracks I can just lap around all day and just have a smile every time I jump out the car, if you like, because it's just one of those tracks, if you know a lap around here, it's just so rewarding.
Indeed it is. Of course, in the Skip Barber car, it's real talk about momentum. Goodness me, you got to keep the momentum up. So back again with Gary Teal, who, although he's had to watch Trengarade clear off into the distance, Gary Teal has actually managed to clear a bit of distance between himself and McDonald in the 21 car. Oh, a bit of slide as well, very nice. So what can we see? Will Gary Teal be able to reel in Snelson? Well, they were about 5 seconds different on lap time last time in favour of Snelson, but now with a bit of clean air, who knows?
Yeah, because I think Ovi Trengarade just pulled away already from Snelson, and then the next car in front of him is Chris Marikami, and honestly at this stage of the race I wouldn't be surprised if Trengarade finishes on the podium.
Oh, I think that is what we're looking at. I think, Ryan, as you can see, Chris Murakami, fantastic run so far from Chris Murakami. Now we've lost Togo Hisada. Where is Togo Hisada? Oh, I think he's had a crash, Ryan.
Yeah, it looks like I was wondering. Oh yeah,
No, that's so we're getting a little bit conflicting reports with Toga Hisada. We will try and get you the update on that when we can. But Trengarade all over the back of Chris Murakami here in the 6th car. Of course, Chris, one of our front runners in the past in F2, now progressing up to the F1 championship. Of course, so easy to spot Chris out on circuit. It's got that wonderful Rising Sun red and white paint scheme there, which is very much his trademark. Also, Ovi Trengarade, I'm not really sure what this paint scheme is on on Trengarade's car, Ryan. It's clouds and stars, and it's sort of cartoon style.
Yeah, I was going to say, it kind of, for me, I think anyway, it looks like a kind of like 1960s hippie paint.
So it wouldn't look out of place with Austin Powers with Ovi Trengarade, the Austin Powers of Grand Prix legends. I like that. That's a new one for this season. So 4 laps to go. Well, 3.5. It'll be 3 to go when Mick Claridge comes across the line. But well, the next thing, you've got to think this is a matter of when rather than if for Ovi Trengarade here to get past Chris Murakami, and then he will set off in hot pursuit of Bill Tyler. So I tell you what, Ryan, from starting from the back of the pack, if Trengarade can get out of the Nürburgring with a 2nd place finish, I think he'll take your arm off for that.
Yeah, I think he would as well, considering where he started in the race. I think it's been a good drive by him through the field at the moment, and he's right behind Murakami, and I think as soon as he get onto this back straight, he'll be by Murakami and he'll be gone.
Yeah, I think so. It's just and I tell you what, it's been really good to see Ovi Trengarade just displaying that very typical Grand Prix legends patience, just waiting for the right moment. These cars demand a lot of respect from the driver, both of your fellow driver and of the car itself, because it is a bit of an animal. If you get it wrong, there's no one there to catch you. So the drivers do bear that in mind. So here comes Trengarade then. He has giving a big old wide berth here. He goes for the racing line through this very, very fast left-hander under the Bilstein Bridge at 200 miles per hour. The car, look at that, floating over the crest there and then into the S's. Now in a downforce car, not so much of a problem. In this car, this is just like when you'll be on the brakes going, stop, oh please stop.
Yep, as they come back onto the home straight now, and yeah, Trengarade is just pulling away, and he's absolutely flying at the moment. And I think the next person in front of him is Bill Tyler, but I think if he does catch up to Tyler, I don't think Bill will put up much of a fight.
No, it doesn't seem so. So the last time around, Ovi Trengarade 738.3, Mick Claridge 735.0. So that's the closest that any driver has got to Mick Claridge so far in this race. And we must consider that Ovi Trengarade was held up a little bit compared to Clean Air over most of that lap. Now, to compare, Bill Tyler a 742. So Ovi Trengarade pulling 4 seconds out of Bill Tyler on that lap, Ryan.
Indeed, and yeah, Mick Claridge pretty much in a class of his own, and he's still leading this race at the moment. And considering it at the moment where he is on the track, he's about 29 seconds ahead of Bill Tyler. And like I said earlier, once Mick Claridge gets in the zone, he's pretty much just a man on a mission.
Indeed, and I think it really highlights how much of a proper driver circuit the Nürburgring Nordschleife is, because that jump gets me every time. But that's the thing is, Ryan, it can go wrong at any moment. No matter how fast you are, you don't even have to make just the slightest mistake, and your whole day is done. And I think that's every time you go over that jump, you're just going, please land straight, please. But I think what it also highlights is it really does allow the creamiest of the cream to rise to the top, and that certainly applies to Mick Claridge.
Yep, and look at the battle for 6th place between Will McDonald and Bill Wright. And Bill Wright, I don't think we've not seen him around on track for a while, I believe, not from what I remember anyway. So it's good to see Bill on track. Oh, McDonald clips the wall.
Oh, it goes through the washing machine there as well, just spinning around. He'll be dizzy. Oh my. that was a Kylie Minogue crash, that one. Oh my goodness. Oh, ouch. Bill Wright just getting by in time there, Ryan. Otherwise, he could have been snagged in that incident, which may have triggered quite the incident.
Yeah, Bill was a lucky boy to avoid that incident right in front of him, and it was good wreck avoidance as well. But that could have ended up in disaster for him.
It could have. So we're getting very much a typical Nürburgring attrition rate here in this opening round of the Grand Prix Legends series. So we're looking at Chris Murakami right now, who has now got a bit of attention from Snelson, but back with the man on the move, Ovi Trengerate. In the number 5 car, he has just been on the charge, starting at the very back of the grid, and he is now only 1.9 seconds from Bill Tyler up ahead in second. And it kind of feels a little bit like deja vu, Ryan. It's sort of every lap, Ovi Trengerate has most of the lap open, and then gets stuck behind the car in front at the final section, and then goes past on the Dotherho, and then rinse and repeat.
Yeah, pretty much. I just wonder if it would have been a close race between Mick and Ovi if Ovi was up at the front and Ovi Trengerate gets sideways, and yeah, that's a tricky corner to get right because you're just having to brake so much and having to slow down really quickly. But if you miss the apex in that corner ever so slightly, you can run wide like we saw Ovi do. But I think Ovi Trengerate, if he qualified at the front, I think he could have gave Mick a run for his money.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would definitely agree with you. I think if he could get away with Mick Claridge, he would have been able to hang on to him for sure. Go past him, another matter. But yeah, certainly run at the similar pace. That would be for sure. So we will be 2 to go when we go over the stripe, about halfway around this 4th lap of the race. And well, if you're enjoying this action, this is only round 1. We have another 11 weeks of action here on the Global Sim Racing channel, 8:30 a.m. Eastern every Saturday morning. And of course, we have a whole 9:30 for now, but we will be moving around throughout the season. So 9:30 a.m. Eastern here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We also have Camel GT later on today around lunchtime, and then Lotus 79s tomorrow lunchtime as well. Do check it out, all of the details on our YouTube channel as well. And it's great to have the classic racing back, Ryan.
It is. I've been missing it, and not just the Grand Prix Legends, but the Camel GT Championship I like to watch as well, or racing from time to time, and the Lotus 79 series as well I like to watch. So plenty of classic racing on every weekend, and if you're looking to join in or watch, then don't hesitate. It's great racing.
It is indeed. These guys absolutely at the peak of any drivers in the world. Of course, here in the iRacing world, if there are more drivers than can fit in one race, then you get what is called a split. So you'll have 2 races, or in some cases it could be 3 or 4 or 5 different races all going on at once, with drivers grouped together based on their iRating. Very good system. But this here, what we broadcast here on GSRC, as Ovi Trengerate gets a big slide there. Well, only someone in the top split could have caught a slide like that. It was Ovi Trengerate there. The top split is what we broadcast here, and you get to watch the very best in the world in this particular car. Now, it seems to me, Ryan, that Ovi Trengerate is, I wouldn't say he's held up behind Bill Tyler here. This is something to push a little bit harder.
Yeah, he is, and you can see by the way he's sawing at the wheel, he's absolutely giving it everything, and I think he's just waiting until his back's straight to make a move, because the Nordschleife section is so difficult to make a move, and if you try and make a move in the wrong place, it can go horribly wrong.
Yes, indeed it can. So here we go, on to the Dotherho we go again. Now, Ovi Trengerate looked to have had his gearing absolutely perfect so far in this race, but will he be able to get the run here on Bill Tyler? He's got a bit of the overspeed. They go up to 320 kilometers an hour, nearly 325 kilometers an hour. That is well over 200 miles an hour, and through they go. Ovi Trengrade gets the move done, doesn't rush it, doesn't panic. Through he goes, and we shall see now a completely clear run from Ovi Trengrade for this next lap. We'll see what he can do.
Yep, and he's pretty much just pulling away now, and I think in clear air I'm interested to see what sort of pace he can do, because at the moment, apart from McLaren, he seems to be the second quickest car on the track at the moment.
And by some margin, definitely. To give you an impression, Bill Tyler there at 7:41, Bruce Nelson 7:43, Chris Mercari semi 7:45, but Ovi Trengrade in 7:36. So, wow, that is some hot pace we can see there. So looking at Bruce Nelson, and I tell you what, it's been an absolutely superb run for Bruce, and he's now got a little bit of a duel going on here with Chris Murakami for 4th place.
It is, and Bruce Nelson having a great run. He done well in qualifying as well. They've qualifying 6th and at the moment in 4th, and Chris Murakami as well having a great run. And Chris has always been one of those drivers that he's probably never been up at the front challenging for wins, but when he keeps out of trouble and has good luck, he can be right there in the top 10 getting good results.
So we're going to go along to the number 27 car here of Michael Griesinger from Michigan, who has started all the way at the back of the pack, 33rd position, and up to 12th, Ryan. Of course, Michael in the 27th seed up to 12th. That'll be a big boost of iRating there for the man from Michigan, and 8:05 setting his best lap of the race last time around. Let's see if he can improve it this time.
Yeah, he's having a great run as well, and another person doing well is especially as Robert Reynolds, starting in 44, sorry, up into 21st at the moment, and just going about his business and keeping out of trouble. Oh, 15, sorry. So,
2 to go here at the Nürburgring. Mick Claridge still putting that pace on away at the front of the field with the number 1 plate on. And well, we always know, Ryan, of course, the Nürburgring Nordschleife is a little bit of a standout event. You know, it really does allow the cream to rise to the top. When we go to next week, we go to Lime Rock Park. I mean, you couldn't get a more different challenge.
Yeah, Lime Rock Park it's sort of like a tinier version of the Nordschleife, if you like, because it's sort of similar. It's a tight track, and the walls are not too far away. And if you make a mistake, it just your race can be over. So Lime Rock Park is another one that I'm looking forward to next week.
It certainly will be indeed. Of course, Lime Rock Park was the home circuit of the great Paul Newman, Ryan. In fact, I've just got Paul Newman's book arrived to have a read of this week.
Yeah, Paul Newman, I forgot about him as well. I remember him racing as well, and they didn't do too bad either. But he's one of the people responsible for getting the awesome Willie T. Ribbs into racing in Trans Am, who turned out to be a pretty good driver.
That he did, yes, he did indeed, didn't he? Did Willie T. And getting into the show in the Indianapolis 500 as well. That's something that not many people on this earth can say, indeed. And of course, went to nearly won Le Mans outright, did Paul Newman, with Rolf Stommelen and Dick Barber, Big Dick Barber, in the Hawaiian Tropic sponsored Porsche 935. And should we say, the promotional efforts around Hawaiian Tropic at that time were rather pleasing on the eye, Ryan.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures of that car, and it does look pretty awesome, put it that way.
Yes, it does. Yeah, lots of about 850 horsepower from those late 1970s Porsche 935s. Very, very big race cars indeed, mean race cars. So the hill we go then, here at the Nürburgring. And it's funny, once the more laps you do here, the more it just ingrains in your brain. And there's really, Ryan, there's no substitute for mileage around this track.
Yeah, absolutely not. I've found the more laps you do around this track, the more experience you get, and just basically, some people say the Nordschleife is boring. It's more of a hot lap track, but I've never agreed with that. I think it's probably one of the best tracks to race around, and it's not all about being quick. It's just about keeping out of trouble.
That's right. It is. It is all about just keeping the car straight, and that's exactly what Mick Claridge has done today. This has been another masterclass, a bit of a carbon copy of his last run here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, where again the attrition rate behind him was pretty high, and well, to be honest, his pace was the best anyway, which end result being a pretty dominant victory at the moment. That gap sitting about 36 seconds between Mick Claridge and Ovi Trengrade, but again, when you consider that that's Ovi Trengrade coming all the way from the back of a 47 car grid, that's pretty impressive indeed.
Indeed, and if I was to put up a vote for driver of the race, for today, I would probably say Ovi Trengrade would get my vote, because he started at the back of the field and he's done well to get up to the front and get up into second place.
Indeed, well, we're just a big hello to all our viewers on YouTube on the Global Sim Racing channel. We hope you're enjoying the show here at the Nürburgring. Nice to see our very own Dougie Beard in the chat, Ryan, and of course Dougie's expert camera placement, a real treat for us here on GSRC. We know what my favourite is, which is Cosworth DFV cam, but the Flugplatz cam is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was about to say that was my favourite camera as well, around this track as well. And yeah, I have to say, Dougie Beard, he always does a good job of the cameras and producing them. So yeah, hats off to him.
We could maybe see if we know he's a bit of a wizard with the cameras, is Dougie Beard. But do you think he could get a camera angle to make our profile pictures look a bit better, right?
Yes.
Yeah, short and simple. Yes. That was almost a Kimi Räikkönen-esque response there, Ryan.
Yeah,
or Mika Hakkinen.
Yeah, but both of them are my heroes. So yeah, that pretty much explains it. So
that last time around, 7 minute 34.5 for Mick Claridge. Mick's best is 7:33.6, a little bit earlier on in the race. We're going to get a look here just to see what Ovi's lap is. This was his first proper clean lap through. So let's get him over the line and see what the comparison is, like for like, between Claridge and Trengrade. And, well, there you go. Wow, 7:33.477 for Ovi Trengrade. And Ryan, that puts him as the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, that was a brilliant lap from Ovi, and it's just proved my point again. It's I think he would have been right up there challenging Mick for the win, and just unfortunately he never qualified up at the front. But again, he's still putting in a great drive to be in second at the moment, and I think once we get to Lime Rock Park next week, I think you'll see Ovi right up there.
It would appear so. Yeah, absolutely. And of course at Lime Rock Park, very, very difficult to get away. It's a real tricky, twisty, it's almost like a skeletric track compared to the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So we're going to have a whoa just as we go by. Bill Wright having a big old lock up there in the Grand Prix section. He's got Gary Thiel behind him in the number 1 car, just about 0.6 of a second separating these guys. So they're about to go into a little bit of a last lap duel here, Ryan.
Yeah, pretty much. And Bill Wright, and you've got that position from Thiel, but Thiel's not letting him get away that easily. And I think Gary Thiel, I wouldn't be surprised if he just hangs back and waits behind Bill Wright around the Nordschleife section and waits until that's long back straight to make his move.
Yeah, that would be a sensible option. Just bide your time, manage your pace, and then go for that big draft. We haven't seen, of course, the draft isn't so strong in these cars, Ryan, that you could draft past and then be drafted by yourself, if you like. Usually once you've got it done, you're able to hold the position.
Yeah, pretty much. And the way I go about it, if I gain a position for someone before heading into the Nordschleife section, I think I always tell myself not to do anything too silly, just hit my marks, and if someone tries to get by me or tries to get aggressive, then that's probably, I just basically pull to the side and just let them go rather than take any risks.
Yes, more sensible man than I, Ryan. I have to say, I take the bait. I take the bait every single time. Anyway, mind you, I have to say this. I know this is a terrible moment, but myself and my commentatori Squadron Course pals came 7th in the top split of the VRS Endurance this morning, Ryan.
Congratulations. What car were you using?
The Lamborghini.
I was going to say, you can't use a Corvette around here, so yeah, that was basically instant death.
Yeah, well, it was actually at Watkins Glen, so it was the Lamborghini was a perfect combination. But if there'd been a choice of a Corvette, that would have been the obvious choice, of course.
You're a Corvette fan, so that does not surprise me in the slightest.
So let's have a look back. Where is Mick Claridge on the circuit? Okay, so about halfway round, he's about to come round that wonderful sweeping off-cambered right-hander, and then all the way up the hill, the Bravery corner, and then eventually the carousel, and still pushing, putting a wheel on the grass there, going for that big lap time. Now I wonder, here's a thought, Ryan. Do you think that Mick knows that Ovi Trengrid has eclipsed his lap time? Do you think he's going for a fast lap here by some chance?
Yeah, I was about to say, the way he's throwing that car around, I think he's trying to go for the fastest lap and try and get the fastest lap of the race and try and maybe just, as he gets a bit of airtime there, so he's absolutely throwing this car around.
Absolutely, he is. Just noticed as well in our in-race chat, which our viewers can engage with on GSRC. There's somebody called Rowdy Whaleback. Now, if that's his actual name, I mean, what a name to have!
I think I know who that is, judging by that name, because I saw him in the Lotus 49 Discord thing. I believe it could be Roland Wallbank.
I like that. Very good, very good. That's good. He could even have he could have a can of Rowdy energy drink, couldn't he? If you wanted to leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Peter, get out of
here. So we're right on board with Gary Teal. That's enough about the wow! Goodness, that was a close one there for Gary Teal, Ryan. That could have gone very wrong over that curb.
Yeah, I watched that as well, and I had to hold my breath because I thought I was going to end up in disaster.
Yep, thought it might have done. Yep, indeed. So up towards the carousel we go for the final time here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So we're getting a report that something has happened to Snelson, and now Tyler and Murakami are all over the back of him. So something has happened to Snelson, Ryan.
Yeah, I was just looking through to see what happened, and I think I don't know if Snelson made a mistake or not, but it's definitely closed that battle back up.
That it has. So, well, we won't be too long before we get our leader, Mick Claridge, over the line. He's a good minute up the road from these guys, which is really a ridiculous notion when you think about it, that these guys, Bill, Tyler, Murakami, really, really fast drivers, and Mick Claridge has kind of been operating in his own universe right now. However, that is here we go. Yes, so on to the Dottinger Ho he goes for the final time. Mick Claridge running the number 1 plate, the top seed today, the defending champion, and he continues his unbeaten streak. When will it end? It's now over a season long, this particular streak that Mick Claridge is on, and he really is in the groove. Into the final S's for the final time. is Mick Claridge. And he starts this brand new 2021 Season 2 of the Grand Prix Legends as he left off in Season 1. Mick Claridge is your winner here at the Nürburgring. Quick Mick is king of the ring. Over the line he goes. An absolutely stunning drive. Didn't quite improve on that time, but I think just taking it home easy there on the way home. Ovi Trengerade, equally impressive, Ryan, from Ovi in the number 5 car, starting all the way at the back of the pack. Fastest lap of the race and gets up to 2nd place and bags a whole chunk of points.
Yeah, it was a great result for Ovi Trengerade and coming across the line to finish in 2nd now. But I'm keeping my eyes on the battle for 3rd with Bill Tyler trying to make a move on Bruce Nelson heading down this long straight, and he's trying to get the move done. But I think Nelson might just hang on, and I don't think Tyler's going to do anything too silly, as it looks like they've got a back marker in front of these guys as well. So this could play a factor in Bill Tyler and try and get a good exit. But Chris Marikami's closer on to the back of him. He's come on to the exit of the last corner now, and they're coming across the line, and Tyler's got the run, but he's just not got enough time to get the move done.
No, yeah, not quite. Snelson just hangs over there. Gary Teal coming over the line as well. Bill Wright in there too. Dave Cohen also. So, what a race here at the Nürburgring. I tell you what, Ryan, we've got to give a big hats off to all the drivers here, because just getting to the end of a 6-lap race in these cars here at the Nürburgring is, I think we have to give quite a lot of emphasis to just how impressive that actually is.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone that finishes a race around here, around the Nordschleife as well, and to keep your concentration for 6 laps deserves a pat on the back, because finishing a race around here is no easy feat.
No, it is not. Well, we are going to take a very quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with official results and driver interviews. See you shortly. Welcome back to the Nürburgring Nordschleife, where we have just witnessed another Mick Claridge masterclass here in the Grand Prix Legends series. Quick Mick, the king of the ring, beating Ovi Trengerade by 37.8 seconds. But to see Ovi Trengerade go all the way from the back of the pack up to the runners-up spot, that could be very important as the season progresses. A superb podium from Bruce Nelson, a new name for us on the podium here in the Grand Prix Legends series. A stunning drive. Bill Tyler, to his usual steady self, finishing in 4th, followed by Chris Murakami, Gary Teal, Bill Wright, Dave Cohen, Andrew Eng and John Olsen, rounding out your top 10.
Yep, finishing 11th was Randy Hoff, with 12th going to Michael Grinzinger, 13th was Heidiki Koivisto, 14th was Douglas Nelson with Robert Reynolds in 15th, Will McDonald in 16th, 17th Peter Wojcicki, 18th is Yanni Lehmann, Eugenio Mas in 19th, and rounded out the 20 was Togo Hasada.
And running through your next few drivers here, all of these drivers not making it to the flag. Steve O'Malley, Don Good, Andres Anso, Cesare Piccolo, Walter Mastush, Chris Hengler, John Shaw, Colin Bentley, Matthew Maudsley and Quentin Giselle all not making the flag.
Yep, and the rest of the results was Laus Olsen, Rob Olnick in 32nd with Torpe Cortanemi, Nathan Mills, Roland Wallbank, Glenn Becker, Oliver Feed, Kyle Graham, Jack Hobbs, Paul Ferrer, Robert Plumley, John Mills with Chris Barnes, David M. Mayer, Chris Ray, Antonio Rees and Marco Ravioli.
So we have our race winner with us now in the commentary box. Mick Claridge is with Ryan Walker.
Yeah, Mick taking the win in, taking the win in round one of the new season, and Mick pretty much left off where you started last season, and or finished last season rather, but taking the win at the Nordschleife, and how was that race?
Yeah, it was all right. It was a bit annoying because Michel should have been there. He was there all morning, and we was having little battles in qualifying. As you know, the qualifying's separate. So every time we met in qualifying, there was a couple of times we was less than a tenth away from each other, and I just got him at the end. I think by less than a tenth. So all the build up, all the adrenaline, and then you join the race server and he's not there, and it was just you just die, you just think, oh god. And so I got lucky with Topi and Rob having a fight as well there, and then they disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know what happened to them. And then I was literally just trying to concentrate because you really have to. There was a couple of times where I forgot where I was. I was missed a couple of brake markers. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but yeah, wall of death around a couple of corners, just because I forgot where I was. So yeah, you really have to stop, and I really had to stop thinking about Michel and what happened to him, because the first couple of laps I was thinking, oh yeah, well, I know he had wheel troubles last season, this, that, and the other, and then and I thought, right, let's concentrate on the actual race,
Yeah, I think Topi and Rob had issues, and Rob just lost control, and Topi had nowhere to go, so two of them got caught up with each other, so that was unfortunate. But on the other hand, Ovi had a great race as well, finishing in second after starting 24th. And do you think Ovi could have gave you a run for your money if he qualified at the front?
Definitely, yeah. He was. He doesn't even have to practice as well much. I don't know. He must have put in about an hour today. That's the first time I've seen him all week. So Ovi's quicker than me in race pace all day long. It would have been a huge battle. It should have been a huge battle between me, Michel, Rob and Topi. Great to see Bruce coming in for third place there. Yeah, go Snelly, man. I love that. That's really good. He had a win on Thursday, I think it was, or Friday night. So yeah, he's had a really good week, old Snelly. So great to see him. Old GPLer, Bruce Nelson, original GPL, 1998, old school.
And looking ahead to next weekend, for the season in general, what's the plans? Are you planning to race the whole season, or is it just kind of the same as last season at times, just race when you can?
It's going to be a little bit of race when I can. I might miss maybe 1 or 2 weeks, so I'm going to be on the back foot again for the whole season if I do that. I'm not going to practice much. Probably see me in Lotus 79 on Sundays, not tomorrow though. So yeah, gonna calm it down a bit this season. Put far too much practice in last season. Every night, 4 or 5 hours, just too much.
And before we let you go, Mick, anyone that you want to give a shout out to?
There's only 2 people. There's actually 3 people I want to say hello to. No, there's 4. One, I've mentioned him before, Malcolm Johnston. I told you guys, you won't remember, none of you remember, but he does a lot of work for the homeless people. He actually won an award here in England for doing that over this week. On Thursday it was, so congratulations to him. And the other 3 guys are the Mackenzie boys. don't mess with them. Especially you, Sean.
Good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on the winning round 1 of the new season, Mick. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
Always sound advice there from Mick Claridge. Never, ever mess with the Mackenzie boys. A good mantra to live by from our winner there. Well, that's about all we have time for today on the Global Sim Racing channel. We hope you enjoyed this opening round of the Grand Prix Legends series, and we will be back at the same time next week. A huge thank you goes to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcasts, and they're listed up here on your screen. An additional thank you goes to the wonderful June Lalonde, who provides our great music. Check out on screen how you can get a hold of her great work on bandcamp.com. A huge thank you goes to the other half of Double Scotch, Ryan Walker, Sean Ambrose and Dougie Beard for their expert work on today's show. If you'd like to find out more about what we do here at the Global Sim Racing channel, including all the upcoming races, you can find that out at our website, globalsimracingchannel.com, or pop onto our Twitter, Facebook or Instagram displayed here on your screen. Head over to our YouTube page as well and make sure to hit that big red subscribe button so you never miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing channel. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.